President Biden kicking off the new year, meeting moments ago with farmers and ranchers from across the U.S. The president discussing his administration's plans to create a fairer and more competitive supply chain for meat. Meat prices have skyrocketed over the last year, up 21%. I mean, you're talking about serious food inflation that continues to rise to historic highs. And while Americans can expect that they will pay high fees for household essentials, the good news is that the e-commerce industry continues to expand. Bulk supplier Boxed, going public via SPAC in December, popping 43% on its first day of trade. The stock right now stands at $13.95, up another 1.8%. But what is in store for 2022 when it comes to, dare I say it, pantry hoarding? Joining me now on a Fox Business exclusive, co-founder and CEO of Boxed, Chieh Huang. Great to have you, Chieh. Congratulations on the IPO, but we need to get to the real issue here. When will we start seeing prices fall, or at least see what's called disinflation, the slowing down of rising prices?
Oh man, Liz, it's great to be back, but I wish I could be kind of a bearer of better news, but we don't see any end in sight at the moment. We're still getting price increases from the manufacturers, and when you're looking at the manufacturers as they report earnings, you're also seeing some margin compression. So if they're raising prices and their margins are compressing, there's not going to be a lot of relief in sight anytime soon. So for us, we're doing what we can to manage costs, but at the same time, if you're a consumer out there, you're definitely starting to see your own basket increase in terms of cost.
We know that this is a very serious issue of an imbalance between supply and demand. There's huge demand, but supply has been very slow because of supply chain issues. Where do we stand on supply chain issues? What are you seeing? Because you are that guy who ships, salsa by the gallon. Tell me what you're seeing here.
I'm also that guy that actually has slept in Newark Airport multiple times as well, Liz. So I'm a Jersey guy myself.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
It is quite a delightful thing. But when you look at the supply chain today, luckily for us, just about everything we sell is made in the U.S. So when you see those ships docked off to LA Port or all around the world, it doesn't affect us as much. Our private brand is made here. A lot of our products, when it comes to the food products, are made here. But I will say a lot of the increases are coming from the labor shortage that we're seeing. So last mile delivery, the folks that work in the fulfillment centers, the folks that work in the manufacturing plants, as the wages go up and as it's harder and harder to fill those gaps, that's where you're seeing the real price increases. So for us, again, the shelves are stocked for now, but at the same time, labor and that labor market is really, really tight.
How do you get people back to work? If you had the president's ear, what would you say to him to incentivize people to get back on the job?
I think that's the trillion-dollar question, literally, these days. When you look at the last two packages, I still remember, when the Great Recession, when we had a multi-hundred-billion-dollar package, and that was considered large. Sure. Now you're seeing a few T's in front of some of these packages. I think clarity of policies and clarity of what we have to do as a nation is really important. So right now, with all the different states and all the different regulations out there, even for a company like ours, it's not the biggest, but we do have multiple locations throughout the country. It really sends a mixed signal to what we have to do in order to get people back. So what should we do within the buildings? What should we do when it comes to vaccines? What should we do when it comes to whether there's lockdowns or not? I think there's not a lot of clarity at the moment, and making a clearer picture will be better for all businesses and getting people back to work, I think.
I am not asking you to get political here, but we are free marketeers at the Claman Countdown. There was a point where, as a first world nation, we absolutely had to sweep in and help people because they lost their jobs. I mean, we had unemployment in April. It was insane. When you really look at exactly what it was, I wrote it down because, people tend to forget. But employment was at something like 15.7%, and it was absolutely insane. And you've got unemployment, rather, and there was a time and a place for that. Is there a time and a place for another multi-trillion-dollar bill, or even just a $1 trillion bill?
I wish I knew the exact answer to that, Liz, and that's not a punt. If I knew the exact answer, I should probably run for office. But I'm a wholesaler of groceries. But at some point in time, I do think there needs to be a tapering. We've printed so much money over the last few years, and we've lifted a lot of folks out of poverty. But at some point in time, that needs to end, and we can't do that forever. So I think it's up to the government to really make the right decision there, because sometimes printing more isn't the right answer sometimes.
Chieh, thank you very much. Good luck to you. And I'm sorry that you didn't have better news that prices might be coming down, but you articulated it really well for our viewers that they are having their margins compressed. It's not the, hey, let's raise prices, yay. They are seeing compression on their margins and the amount they're making. So we'll be watching it. Please come back.
Thanks, Liz.